Real Madrid 1, Liverpool 0, a familiar scoreline against a familiar team as Liverpool exited the last 16 of this year's Champions League. And I've been trying to find a word to describe it, and I think the word probably most accurate is humbling. And not to be mistaken about today. Today was an impossible task for Liverpool to try and get the Bernabeu and try and win by 3 goals, to try and get at least the last 16, 4 goals to try and go through, and it was just impossible. And the damage was done in the first leg. Let's not forget that. I know a lot of you are talking about today's performance, and we'll get on to today's performance, but the tie was lost at Anfield when we lost 5-2, and our defending was appalling, our midfield was appalling, and we just kind of let the game slip and let Real Madrid right back into it. And today wasn't good enough either. I did think going into the game that there would be a response from Liverpool. I thought maybe we might, I was almost certain that we would go out of this tie. I did think that maybe we would win the game, and we'd show a bit of pride and show, do you know what, kind of put a dent in Real Madrid's morale and kind of show them, look at us, you might have beaten us 5-2, and that was kind of a freak result, but let's show what we're about. But I think more than anything else, I think these players, this manager, this coaching setup, the whole team they've got a mentality block against Real Madrid now. After that Champions League final in Ukraine when we lost 3-1, we went out to them in the COVID season. It was not good, and then last season Champions League final when we lost 1-0, and now again. So it's 4 years of Jurgen, of like the last recent few years, like 4 years we've gone at Real Madrid in recent times, and it's just, they are a bogey team, and what can you do when a team has that much experience, that much quality, and that they're so much better than you? And I think that's the thing, because a lot of people focus on the negatives for Liverpool, which there were a lot of negatives, but they won't focus on about how amazing Real Madrid were. And honestly, their game management was just impeccable. And here I've got a sofa score, and because I really wanted to show you the stats about this game, because I thought it was really interesting. Obviously, being 5-2 down, Liverpool come to the Bernabeu, you think to yourself, right, you've got to make a fast start, you've got to get right into these, you've got to try and get yourself an early goal if possible. And that showed in the fact that Liverpool actually played with 4 forward players. And I know Jurgen Klopp's hand was kind of forced a little bit in the fact that they were missing Henderson, they were missing Patetic, and kind of really Milner and Fabinho, and then you kind of think to yourself, who else you got who can play in that midfield? And you got Harvey Elliott, who's more attacking, Fabio Carvalho, who again is more attacking, Curtis Jones, not good enough, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, not good enough, although I did think he did alright, Naby Keita, who's just not trusted anymore. And especially if you look at this momentum bar down here, so the green at the top is Real Madrid, and the blue at the bottom is Liverpool, and you can see, you try and set out the game, you try and get an early start as soon as you can, but it happens, and then Real Madrid just dominate for the entirety of the first half and Liverpool had kind of had this spell, but at no point did we really look like we're going to score. Going into half-time, 0-0, Jurgen Klopp gathers the boys and he says, okay, so we wanted a goal, we wanted at least 1 goal, but it's not what happened, but do you know what, let's at least go out there second half, let's try and win the second half. And again, you have a little bit of a start first couple of minutes, but then Real Madrid just dominate. And it's that experience for Real Madrid, which I do think honestly is kind of comes in clutch every now and then, because of the fact that they can just win at any moment in time, and they just know how to play, they know how to pass the ball. I think, I don't know, like Modric and Kroos again in the middle of the midfield were just amazing today. I thought Camavinga, who came in, I know showed his real quality today as well. I mean, Tchouaméni normally plays it, but yeah, just the plethora of midfielders they have available. I've said this after my reaction after the first leg. The midfielders for Real Madrid compared to the midfielders for Liverpool were just chalk and cheese, and the fact that they can do that is just the players they can bring on. I mean, they brought off Kroos and Modric, they brought on Denis Ceballos, they brought on Tchouaméni. It was just, there are levels to this, and Liverpool need better midfielders, they need midfielders, because the fact that they were just passing through us so easily, 1 touch, 2 touch, and the fact that it was more defender to Benzema, who then laid off to a midfielder, and then the angles would be changed completely. Normally Liverpool play very slowly, and it's actually not something that we're used to seeing from Jurgen Klopp. This team is just not passing the ball fast enough at this moment in time. So you've got players like Van Dijk passing it into Fabinho. Fabinho takes a touch, turns, takes another touch forward, and then by then Real Madrid is set, and they've got the whole midfield and defence in line, and the only person who really isn't behind the ball is Benzema at that moment in time. I just think they need to pass the ball a lot quicker, they need to be sharper, and part of it again, I'm disappointed because I don't think we showed what we're capable of today. But the fact is that Real Madrid were just better than us in every single form of the game, and honestly, it's so disheartening because it all comes back down to our Champions League group, and that's what I always try and remember. Is the fact that if we topped our Champions League group, we would have Frankfurt, and Napoli would be playing Real Madrid, which would be an amazing tie, by the way. I just want to say, but the reason we got Real Madrid is because we lost. Well, we didn't lose, but we came second in our Champions League group, and that's why we're out of the Champions League in the last 16 at this moment in time. For a team who's been to 3 finals in recent years, won the Champions League once, we should not be going out in the last 16. I don't think that's acceptable. But it has happened, and it has happened again. And I mean, there's one team you don't want at this moment in time, it's Real Madrid, who look like they're going to go win it again. I mean, Napoli might have something to say, Bayern might have something to say about it, Man City, but I think those are the 4 favourites going forward. But Liverpool should not be going out the last 16 and should be putting on more of a fight against Real Madrid. The fact that we lost 6-2 on aggregate overall is just embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing. And let's come back to Surface Score for a minute, because I do want to talk about these stats. Look at the player performances. Honestly, let's go through them. Trent Alexander 6.2. I think that's fair. I think Vinicius Jr. just absolutely destroyed him. I think it's one of those where it's really highlighted the fact that Trent is poor defensively, and he gets away with it in the Premier League because the quality of the players, they're great players in the Premier League, but they're not world class like Vinicius Jr. was. And the fact that Vinicius Jr. only got 7 on these ratings, I don't know how that's happened, because you probably can't even see that. If I move myself here, there we go. Maybe you'll be able to see that a bit better if I make myself a bit smaller as well. There you go. Trent Alexander 6.2. Vinicius 7. Vinicius should be so much higher. He played immensely. He had Trent Alexander on toast. Conte had to cover him so often. I thought Diego Jota also very poor. And it's one I've seen some people saying there's been rumours that Jota might be leaving in the summer. I think it was outrageous because of the fact that we're losing Firmino as well. We're going to have next season Salah, Nunes, Gakpo, Jota and Diaz, and we need to keep at least 5 world class strikers, and they're all world class or has potential to be world class, and they're really good for us at the moment. I know our system, know how we play, but we shouldn't be getting rid of Jota. He is terribly out of form though, and he desperately needs to improve. I think he just needs to get 1 goal. He needs to get his first goal back from his injury, and he'll be absolutely fine. But I think he had a stinker as well. Fabinho and Milner 7.3 and 7.2. I'm a bit surprised by that, to be perfectly honest, because it's kind of the fact that Real Madrid let us have the ball in the midfield areas when they're on the ball, because they knew they weren't going to hurt us and do anything. And there'd be several times where Fabinho would make a pass into the channel between the centre backs and the full back, and I kind of thought to myself, okay, the intent is there, the 4 passes there, but it's just the execution was so poor. And Real Madrid did amazingly well, and that man like Karim Benzema, who again can just, he is world class, and the fact that he was slept on for so many years by lots of people, including myself, for the last 2-3 years since Ronaldo's left him, and he's just shown that, do you know what, he is world class, and he thoroughly deserved his Ballon d'Or, and they need to keep him fit as much as possible because he's their best player. Even though like Vinicius had a great game, Camavinga holding that midfield, I just thought was amazing as well. I want to give a shout out to Alisson Becker, because without him Liverpool would have lost by more than 1 today. And honestly, it was, you had the one from Vinicius from the corner, kind of works its way out to the right hand side, and it's a yard out. Alisson Becker makes a world class save, saves his shoulder. And then the second one, it's kind of Camavinga takes a shot from distance from just outside the box, takes a deflection of Jurgen in his thigh, and he barely gets a touch to it and hits the crossbar. And then the third one, what was the third one? Third one, Andy Robertson gives the ball away to Benzema in the dangerous area. Van Dijk doesn't cover himself in glory and tries to cut across but doesn't really get there. And then Valverde's through and he just scuffs the shot really, but again Alisson's there to make a save, and best goalkeeper in the world, because without him we would have lost so badly and it would be even worse this season. And I want to look at these stats because, oh, you can't see it again, I need to move myself again, but they are embarrassing. Honestly, some of these stats are embarrassing. So expected goals, Real Madrid 2.15, completely fair enough. I think they probably should have done more. To Liverpool's 0.49. We weren't even expected to score 1 goal in a game where we needed at least 3 to stay in the leg. Unbelievable. And again, I mean, Real Madrid dominated. Ball possession 54% to our 46. Total shots, Real Madrid 17 to Liverpool's 9. They had 8 shots on target to our 5. Again, which team is coming to try and win the game? And unbelievable. We had 9 corners, and I don't know what was going on with the corners today. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corners were just so lofted up in the air. I'm not sure if they were trying to get Van Dijk to get the first ball and then get the header on target in the second phase. I'm not sure what was going on. I'm not sure if they tried to see something but they didn't. But just appalling, honestly appalling. This is the big one for me. Big chances. Real Madrid 4. 3 of those were probably the chances that Alisson saved. And just updated. And 3 of those were probably, here we go, big chances 4. 3 of those were probably the chances that Real Madrid had that Alisson Becker made world class saves, and the one was probably the goal. But Liverpool, 0 big chances created. Again, in a game where you need at least 3 to send the leg. Unbelievable. Real Madrid passes, 532, passing accuracy. Actually, this is one I want to talk about, the long balls and the crosses. And just the passes in general. Because of the fact that we look to try and get the ball in between the centre-backs and the full-backs. Because you've got Nacho on the left, you've got Carvajal on the right. And the good solid players who, do a great job on their day. But however, they're not the best. If you ask for what Real Madrid's weakness, I'd probably say the full-backs. Well, those two in particular. But the fact that we try to play in those channels was right. But it's just the accuracy, and there's constant long balls and just defending, and Rudiger and Militao just getting to the balls were just everywhere. I just thought we were, we were so poor, and I kind of feel like I'm probably waffling a bit. I'm not really sure this match reaction makes a lot of sense, but we were just so poor, honestly. I think probably from today he's going to get a bit bantered, but Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's okay at right back in my opinion. But he needs a right centre mid like Henderson in front of him. Who's gonna, when Trent goes forward, Henderson's going to drop back and kind of do the defensive work, do the dogged work for Trent Alexander-Arnold. But he didn't have that today, and I think that exposed him for being worse than I think he is. However, he didn't cover himself with glory. I think he needs a proper backup right back who maybe can play in these games. So you would just go, you know what, we're going to shore up the left hand side of the opposition team. We're going to try not to see any goals, and we're trying to let Robertson try and create something on his side with his left, because he was poor. He should have cost us more goals, and in the end the goal wasn't even his fault, but he should have cost us a couple of goals today. And I'm not sure his forward play was worth what his liability was defensively today, because sometimes it is. Sometimes he creates 3 or 4 world-class chances and he kind of lets one player go at the back post, and he's going to go, okay, fine, because he's done so much defensively. Today was poor defensively. He needed to be taken off, but who do you take off? Do you put Milner there? Absolutely, God no, because he's 37. Vinicius Jr. would just rinse him. Do you put Joe Gomez on? No, because then you lose your attacking output as well, and you're trying to chase the game and win the game. So what do? We need to buy right back, and Calvin Ramsey, who's okay, he's going to come through, but he needs to probably be loaned now because he's not good enough at this moment in time. He's injured as well, but yeah. And then Klopp's substitutions. I think Darwin Núñez, I don't know why he brought up Darwin Núñez. I thought arguably our best forward. He did it again after taking Darwin Núñez off against Bournemouth. Arguably again our best player. And there might be one where I do a video on it, but I think maybe 5 substitutions make Klopp a worse in-game manager. Let me know if you disagree in the comments below, but it's one of those where he's constantly making substitutions, and I think the team gets worse, not better. And how does that even happen? I mean, you bring on fresh legs, a bit more energy, and the team gets worse. And I just think it's the players he's bringing off, because I think he should have brought off. Jota came off, rightly so, for Firmino, fair enough. Bringing off Núñez, maybe you should have tried and risked it more, taking off Milner a bit earlier, Fabinho. Honestly, I almost forget about this because I remember when I took got some to talk about, but Thiago Alcantara was honestly such a miss today. We were so slow passing forward, we couldn't break the lines, we were really struggling. We needed Thiago. This is a game where you need Thiago at the Bernabeu against Modric, Kroos, Camavinga. You need Thiago. and we need another player like him. And Jude Bellingham, this is a game where it really showed to me that why Liverpool wanted Tchouaméni or Bellingham or no one else, because of the fact that regardless of who we bring in, they're not going to be at the levels. I mean, there's a few players in world football who I think could have made a difference today, and I think maybe likes of Barella, Tonali, but really, Liverpool need to sign Jude Bellingham, because to compete with Real Madrid and compete with this Real Madrid midfield, we can compete in the league with three midfielders who work hard and you let the fullbacks go. In the Champions League, our midfield just gets nowhere near them, absolutely nowhere near. And if you played the likes of PSG, if you played Bayern Munich, played Barcelona even at this moment in time, I'm not sure our midfield will win any of those battles, and that's a worry. So the reason you're in the Champions League is because you want to win the big trophies, and the whole world is watching this, and Jude Bellingham is watching this game, and he's not coming to Liverpool in the summer after watching that. And yeah, like I said, it was an absolute humbling, but we move, you go forward. We lost it in the first leg. Today wasn't, we didn't lose, we did lose the game, but we didn't, this is where we lost the time. We lost it in the first leg. So I think it's 17 days now to Liverpool play again, but unfortunately I think we're playing, I'm not sure this is the right order, we play City, Chelsea and Arsenal. Man, and then Spurs, we've got to try and get top 4. We really have to try and get top 4. It'd be such a shame if this side doesn't get top 4, because they are capable of it, but they're just not showing it at this moment in time. And Europa League football, Conference League football, sure, maybe we can give the kids a bit more run out. Carvalho might get more runs out, Jones might get runs out, Cal Ramsey might get more runs out, but really, you want to be in the Champions League, you want to be competing for the big honours, but it might, the season's done, we're not going to be winning a trophy, it's got to be all or nothing for top 4, and God, I hope we get it, because if we don't, it's going to be massive loss of our revenue, massive decrease in what we can spend in the summer transfer window, and we really need to spend a lot. So they'll need to buckle up with their ideas. Going to the international break now because we've got no game in the weekend because Fulham are in the FA Cup. Team are doing better than us. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think.